In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, পরম করুণাময়, অতিশয় দয়াবান আল্লাহর নামে শুরু করিলাম। বিসমিল্লাহির রহমানির রহিম। Dear HSC first year students, I am Muhammad Shahidul Islam Buya, lecturer in English of Puradia Wasimuddin Khan Degree College, and today I have an intention to teach you from English first paper book, and I have an intention to teach you a poem named Blow, Blow Thou Winter Wind, and it was written by William Shakespeare. And I have an intention to explain the poem word by word, line by line. Now, before starting to explain the poem, I'd like to tell you that love and friendship are two important demands of human life, but unfortunately, these two vital elements are not available in the society, so there is no any peace, and these two vital elements have been disappeared, unfortunately. Now, the poet or the poem. Actually, the poem, by reading the poem, we have come to know that if we go to the nature, we will be able to remain in peace. Now, let us read the poem. Blow, blow, thou winter wind. Here, winter wind has been considered as a person, so it can be told that in this poem, personification has been done. So the poet is actually telling the winter wind to carry on blowing because he has been bored by the modern society life, and while remaining in the society he was actually deprived. So he has gone to the nature, and by going to the nature he has started to speak with the winter wind, and he is urging the winter wind to carry on blowing no matter whether the wind would be blowing violently. So let us go to the next sentence. Thou art not so unkind. The poet is telling that the winter is not so much unkind because according to the poet, mankind in the society are very much unkind, and they can do very much cruelty to the tender hearts of the people. That is why if the winter wind does some harm to the people, it would not be very much dangerous. Then the poet is actually willing to tolerate the thing. So as man's ingratitude, that is, by this line we have come to know that human beings are not grateful to each other. That is, after receiving benefit from other people, they are in the habit of forgetting, and also they tend to do harm. So the ingratitude of the mankind has disturbed the poet. So the poet is telling that the nature would not be able to very much unkind as the human being can be very much unkind. That is, by going to the nature, there is a possibility to remain in peace. Thy tooth is not so keen. Here, as long as the winter wind has been considered as a person, the poet is telling that the winter wind has tooth. That is, the winter wind can provide bittering cold, and the bittering cold has been considered here as a tooth. So the poet is also telling that thy tooth, that is the tooth of the winter wind, cannot be as dangerous as the danger can be created by human being, because thou art not seen. The poet is telling that the winter wind cannot be seen, and in our practical life also we do not see the wind, and we can feel it, and that is why the poet is actually confident enough that an invisible thing cannot do as harm as the harm can be done by the mankind. So the poet is optimist here. That is, winter wind would be doing some problem, but it would not be very much dangerous as the danger can be created by the mankind. And that is why the poet is telling that because thou art not seen, that is, the poet is confident enough that an invisible thing cannot do much harm, although thy breath be ruder. Here, the poet is telling that the winter wind has breath, and it can be a bit tough. That is, at the time of violent wind blow, there are some problems. The poet is very much confident that the problem that would be created by the violent wind, it would not be as dangerous as the dangers can be created by the mankind. So the word is telling that thy breath be ruder, but it would be in a position to tolerate. Now, hey ho, sing hey ho unto the green holy. Here, by uh, hey ho, again hey ho, these two sounds have been created consequently, and by these two sounds, actually the poet is telling that he is in a happy mood, and though there are a lot of problems, he is not at all in a mood to remain in the midst of problems. That is, he is willing to utilize his life, and he is willing to enjoy his life by going to the nature, and in the midst of nature he would continue to sing unto the green holy. Holy is one kind of evergreen plant, and by this holy, the poet is actually advising that we would remain as lovable as the green holy. That is, in the midst of nature, there will be no more problem, and if anybody remains in the modern society, he will have to face a lot of problems. That is why it is wise and it is advisable to go to the nature. So the poet has mentioned here green holy. That is, it is actually the symbol of evergreen love. That is, by going to the nature, somebody can expect to get evergreen love, because love and friendship, these two vital elements, have been disappeared from the modern society life. Everybody is busy, everybody is in competition, everybody is trying to deceive other people. That is why it is wise to go in the midst of nature. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Here in this line, two vital, important, or very much important things have been mentioned. That is, friendship is feigning. Feigning means it is not actual. It is actually a fake thing. That is, somebody comes as a friend and he actually exploits. Then after the exploitation done, the person actually goes far away. He says goodbye. So the poet is telling that most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Folly means stupidity. That is, whoever comes as a lover and he or she remains for a while, then after the exploitation is done again, the lover also goes. So the poet is lamenting here that there are no real friendship, there are no real love in the modern society. So the poet is over and over again advising us to go in the midst of nature. But he is also telling that in the midst of nature, we will have to face some problems. But the problems will not be problems at all in comparison with the problems created by the mankind in the modern society. So then, hey ho, the holy. By rejoicing sound, hey ho, the poet is willing to sing. Now, here the holy has been mentioned here. Holy is actually, in the previous time I told you that it is one kind of evergreen plants, shrub type of, and in the midst of nature, we can mix in the midst of green holy. That is, we will be able to receive love forever. Now, this life is most jolly. The poet again is telling that in the midst of nature, the life is really very much enjoyable, and he is not at all in a mood to ruin the opportunity. That is, he is willing to exploit the chance, and he is willing to remain in the midst of nature. Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky. Here again we have seen that the personification has been done. The poet is urging the sky to freeze everything. That is, he is in a mood to accept whatever the problem would be done by the nature. He is actually willing to accept if the sky freezes everything. That is, even the state becomes a frozen state, he will be able to accept the thing, because he has been totally bored by the modern society life, because friends are not real, lovers are not real, everybody behaves very badly, so cruelty is done to the tender hearts. So he is actually willing to accept whatever the problems may be in the midst of nature. So he is actually urging the sky to freeze everything. That is, he is willing to remain in a frozen state. That dost not bite so nigh. That is, the poet is telling that the frozen state would not bite, but human being can bite because they have the tongue and they have some lethal weapons also. By using the weapons, somebody can attack others, and by using the tongue they can also attack other people, and by using harsh words the people can attack others. Then somebody goes in a severe mental agony. That is why all these things are very much troublesome, and in the society living is not very much easy. But going to the nature, the poet will face some problems, but he is not actually willing to avoid all these problems. That is, accepting all these problems. He is in a mental condition to remain in the midst of nature. That is, he is willing to enjoy his life. That dost not bite so nigh, as benefits forgot. That is, winter wind and the sky, and winter wind can blow violently, and the sky can freeze everything. But whenever friends forget, it is really very painful. It creates strong and severe mental agony. It is intolerable. That is why the poet is willing to avoid all these things, and he is willing to accept whatever the troubles would be created by the winter wind or by the sky. He is willing to accept, but he is not willing to be deceived by his friends, because friends come close to the people, then after receiving the benefit he goes far away, and instead of behaving like a friend he behaves like an enemy. So it is wise to go in the midst of nature, according to the poet. Now, though thou the waters work, that is, when we go to the nature, there will be rainfall, there will be snowfall, and this is how our body will get wet, and these are troublesome. But the poet is willing to accept all these troubles, but he is not willing to remain in the modern society, because people can be very much cruel and rude to other people. Thy sting is not so sharp. The poet is considering that the sky has the sting. Sting is actually an organ by which bee can attack, and it creates pain whenever human being is attacked. But this pain is not a pain at all, because whenever other people creates problem to other people, say one person has attacked another person either by his tongue or by a lethal weapon, it is really very dangerous. But if somebody goes to the nature, maybe he would be attacked by the sting of any animal or by the sting of the bitter sky. These are not very much dangerous. The poet is in a mood to accept all these things cordially, because he desires real peace, real friendship, real love. That is why the poet is telling that the sting is not so sharp, as friend remember not. That is, friend forgets. Friend comes, and it is desirable that friends would console at the time of danger, and friends would share the joys and happiness. But in the modern society, the poet is actually not seeing all these things. That is why he has told that friends are not very much friendly in the society. Rather, they become ungrateful and they become enemy. Hey ho, sing hey ho unto the green holly. Even at the last line of the last stanza, the poet is again creating rejoicing sound. That is hey ho, hey ho. That is, this type of sounds are created when somebody is in real peace. Say, sometimes when we sing, we also create some rejoicing sounds. Say, someone in the Bengali song, if someone says la la la, hey hey hey, this type of sounds are actually hey ho, sing hey ho. The poet actually reminding us to remain in a peaceful condition. Now, my line by line discussion has been ended, and I'm going to end the class. Before ending the class, I'd like to tell you that it's an excellent poem, and you are to read it, and it is written by a famous poet named William Shakespeare, and he was actually considered the king of England's king. And if you read the poem, I do strongly believe that your mind will be highly satisfied and you will also get purity in your mind. So poem is actually the part of literature. Literature all the time helps the people to become peaceful man, peace-loving man, and honest man, and that is why I would request you to carry on reading. In your books, there are 12 poems, and these are actually the parts of literature. So I would continue to discuss all the poems step by step, and that is why I'm willing to come to you very soon with some more literary activities. And till then, goodbye, and thank you for joining the class. I would request you to follow my classes over and over again. And this is all for today. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.